all your school rugby, all in one place. This is Next Gen 15.
They've been spoken of as the team of the tournament to date, and well, let's just see how things go. They beat Christchurch by 66 points to 28 in a wonderful match that we saw 2 evenings ago.
On Wednesday evening.
So both teams, or rather Hartpury College it is, who's on the field at the moment. We're just waiting for the Grey College boys to come on, and so they do. A school founded in 1855, South Africa's third oldest school in the country, and founded by Sir George Grey, who out of interest also founded Grey High School in Port Elizabeth. It was founded in 1866, as well as Auckland Grammar in New Zealand. He was responsible for the establishment of all three of those schools. And I have a New Zealander alongside me in Wayne Taylor, who was at Rathgill College, not at Christchurch Boys High School, and he's trained as a conditioning coach and spent a lot of time with the Lions too. Nathan SWARTZ is our referee today, and just to mention as well that this particular match, there's high expectations of a close result here. We've had many games, Wayne, where it's essentially been a bit of a runaway for one team and the other, but as the week has progressed, so it's got a bit tighter, hasn't it?
100%. I'm extremely excited about this encounter. Physicality from both teams, both well coached. I think this is the matchup of the tournament so far.
ZANDER du Plessis then with the kick in, well picked up by George Cronje. So Grey College immediately into an attacking position here as Jan-Hendrik Wessels takes it in. Du Plessis standing off. He's got Franco Smith and Wycliffe Vitor, and Vitor with a lovely little pop pass there to his fullback. And here we go. It's going to be an early start, and Ian Small-Smith will get a try, which his brother William will be very proud of.
Some great line speed there from Hartpury College and coming forward, but missing the tackle and offering the opportunity to FLETCHER to get onto the outside. And as we saw in his previous encounter, more than capable of creating space, putting his wingers down the outside tram lines. So fantastic footwork here, both in and out off the left and right foot, and then acceleration to the corner. Fantastic try for right wing, Ian Small-Smith.
Well, what a way to start the match then with a 5-pointer. Now they've got the wind slightly at their backs here, Grey College, so obviously that makes kicking a little bit difficult too. Very tough conversion this for ZANDER du Plessis.
I can't believe I'm saying this, Gavin, but I feel like we just put a little bit of a commentator's curse on by saying it's the closest encounter we're probably going to see today. Anyway, we're back to the drawing board. Start again, fresh start for Hartpury College now with the opportunity to get into their opposition's 22.
A wonderful conversion there from ZANDER du Plessis. This is a very, very deep kick in, and it's into the sun as well, so making it a little bit tougher for Grey College. And eventually making sure that they get that ball out. Well, they haven't progressed much further than their own 22, but they won't be too worried about that right now.
Yeah, well-placed kick-off there, tactically in, but a great kick chase, putting pressure on and not allowing for a great exit from the 22 for Grey College.
Now Hartpury with the throw-in from Leighton Chambers. I was very impressed with the structures and the structured play that we saw from Hartpury College the other day. Now that kick unfortunately has gone directly into touch, so they'll go back into their 22. ZANDER du Plessis looking a little distraught and apologizing to his teammates.
Hartpury College almost back in the position they were before, with an opportunity to get their line out right and with more accuracy than their last attempt.
Well, this time using the banker ball up front, making 100% sure. Of course, with this breeze too, it's a little bit difficult sometimes for the hookers to find their target. That's a great angled run there from Jamie Hall. The one thing Grey College will do is play this game at pace. Hartpury will want to see if they can match that. And Jamie Hall penalised.
Outstanding by Grey College there. 2 to 3 options straight onto the ball. Too much daylight between ball carrier and support players. Well called by the referee.
Nathan Schwartz, our referee today. Great to see all our up-and-coming referees getting the opportunity to play on the big stage, and this is a big stage, of course, at schoolboy level, a wonderful tournament.
Bigger crowd here than a lot of professional games on occasions as well, Gavin.
Quite right. This is that great ball that for the carry from Werner Goos, going at absolutely full tilt. Said that Grey College like to play the game at that pace. Du Plessis, then Franco Smith, whose father was chatting to us a little bit early on. He doesn't like to put pressure on his son, and I quite like his attitude to that as well. Can't relive what your father's been through. You need to establish yourself, and I'm pretty sure that that's what he wants to do. George Cronje, good work from the lock forward. Du Plessis.
Aggressive defense here from Hartpury College, making it very difficult.
Great running here from Jan-Hendrik Wessels. I thought about blindside, now it's the other prop forward, Herman Argenbach. Things really running the way of Grey College at the moment with those 7 points that they've already got. Searching for a couple more if they can, but they've been forced to hold the ball on the ground, so they've conceded the penalty.
Same conditions as the other end there as well. The referee deeming there was daylight and the opportunity for Hartpury, which they've taken. Mentioned before, Jan-Hendrik Wessels had a great game in his first encounter, not only at scrum time, but around the field and the way that he carries very directly, causing havoc for the defence.
I really like the way you said that. Do you mind repeating it? What's his name?
Jan-Hendrik Wessels.
Oh, that's brilliant, he said. By a New Zealander. You got it spot on.
We need some Maori names to put it in for you.
Yeah, don't give me the Maori names. I might be struggling.
I was very fortunate in my early years at the Lions to have the likes of Vickers van Heerden to make sure that I understood the difference between W's and V's.
Well, I was commentating in Australia many years ago, and the Springboks played against Queensland country, and someone was trying to pronounce the name of Joost van der Westhuizen, an Australian guy. He just couldn't get it right. Wow, wonderful play here. This is excellent play from a little scrum half, Ross Braude, and he's got over. What a great individual try.
Fantastic response there from Ross Braude. Not likely to have been a set move, and watch on the replay, but some poor defence and cover as well from Hartpury College. Especially on that second and third attempt. Should have been shut down and given the opportunity to recover there. You can see it off the back of the line out here. Good direct run and poor tackle there, allowing a opportunity to come forward to try. Be disappointed with that.
I think that's quite right as well. When you summarise that very neatly, they should have at least made one of those tackles. Another tough conversion, this for ZANDER du Plessis. This time he's looking to just maybe fade it in, but it's a very good start from them. They're into double figures already against Hartpury. There was a big expectation of this being a very close game. Still, Hartpury haven't really had their hands on the ball yet.
Hartpury quiet. They need to get a bit of spring in these steps. Someone needs to ignite something, and nothing better than some big defence.
Well, there you got exactly what you asked for. Good solid tackle, but still Grey College have it. Over the top from Braude. Oh, it's almost like the perfect kick. Bear in mind as well that Grey College are playing into the sun. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes. And they've got a slight breeze at their back too, which of course is naturally to their benefit. Now Andre Hugo Venter, his father is a former Springbok as well. Different options that they've got, that's well worked by them too, using the loose forwards in the line out on this occasion. Held at the back by Venter, the man who threw it in. They'll work that wall back if they can. It's a great maul that they've carried about 10 meters now. Broad, Duplessis, Smith then, and into the back line for the first time comes Rian Brits. Well, I must say their passing has been accurate. They've had players running at pace off the ball. Broad's making a real nuisance of himself from the scrum half position. So Hartpury, it's all about defence for them right now. They haven't had their hands on the ball, but they've won 2 vital penalties in their 22, which they'll be proud of.
Yeah, again, a great turnover by Hartpury College there and getting themselves out of jail. It's interesting watching Broad playing at 9 for Grey College. He's causing havoc around the ruck and holding those defenders close. And then once the ball is coming out, creating those opportunities out wide as well.
That's a very decent kick, that, from Dan Cole, the captain of Hartpury. You saw in the previous match just how effective the kicks were from the fly halves.
Yeah, great positioning there, wide stance and taking all of the weight on his own feet, first right to the ball.
Chambers, solid throw, and that's a good line out win that for Hartpury. Offload was to Isaac Marsh on that occasion. Scrum half then, Stephen Varney. Hartpury College, they established their rugby academy in 2001, although the college itself was established back in 1947, actually as an agricultural college. Currently got over 3,000 students, so they've got a lot of players to choose from. They're very much a feeder to the Premiership team of Gloucester, coached by South African Johan Ackerman. So David Marais instrumental in helping to move that through. Now they've got an extra man, yeah, and they've got lots of pace with Ian Small-Smith. Does he go in and out? Well, he's eventually tumbled into touch along with the ball.
Great scrambling defence there from Hartpury College to come across and squash that opportunity. Interesting watching the Hartpury defence coming up. They're very, very cautious and aware of what's happening with FLETCHER at centre.
So Nathan Barry's, SWARTZ, is just going to have a chat to his AR, his assistant referee. Was there some questionable play somewhere along the line? And of course, in modern day rugby, you have your assistant referees, you have your TMO, you have a lot of support for the man who's carrying the whistle.
Yeah, there's no room for thuggery in the game anymore. There's cameras everywhere and eyes everywhere, and it comes down to a hard encounter, but skill and as clean as we can keep a contact sport.
Well, I'm just waiting to see if he puts his hand in his pocket here for some form of illegal play. We're not wired to the referee, so we can't hear him. There's obviously a very strong message, but there we go. It's going to be a yellow card. And that yellow card looks like it's going against Joe Howard. Is it a red card? Wow. Okay, Joe Howard has just been given a red card, and that's an extremely unfortunate circumstance. The first red card of the tournament, and hopefully the only one, that ultimately might just spoil a good game. He's a very strong carrier of the ball for Hartpury, and I'm not too sure what happened there.
Yeah, without judging, without seeing the incident, it's disappointing to go down to a 14 versus 15 encounter with the calibre of these two teams.
So there he is, Joe Howard, and we saw him the other day against Uffies. He was one of the strong ball carriers for Hartpury. So yeah, he can have his shower now, and it's 14 against 15. Which really doesn't make it a contest, does it?
Yeah, sometimes this can be exactly what a team needs to realise they've all got to work a little bit harder. There's been more than one team that's come through with 14 men and lifted their performance, so let's hope that it has that response here.
Isaac Marsh setting up that ball now for the bigger men to do the ball carrying. So finally they get their hands on some ball and then make a terrible hash of the passing.
Yeah, Hartpury College not looking the same confident team that started against Uffies, where they looking a little bit rattled now, looking for some leadership and some direction and being able to take some position and maintain a few phases.
Well, talking about leadership, you know, that I've never been a great believer in your captain of your team being too far away from the action, and it's the fullback on this occasion, Dan Cole. There have been times in the past where we've had wingers who've been captains of sides, but that's in yesteryear. In modern day rugby, it doesn't always seem to work ideally. And I guess the argument might be, yes, but we don't only have one captain on the field, we've got multi-captains, and there's obviously a captain of the forwards, there's a captain of the line-out, there's a captain of the defence, and so on. But whoever it is, I think, Wayne, is what you're saying, amongst that pack of forwards, they've got to create a unity now with the 7 men. And
they have an opportunity now to come together in this scrum and show some dominance and get back into the game. And I think sometimes at schoolboy level you see your captaincy go to perhaps a more experienced and senior person, and they may be your fullback rather than your hooker or one of the loose forwards, where it's a more commonplace to have your captain position.
Of course, the good thing is there's an equalisation factor at school level too, so you have to have the same number of men in the line in the scrum. So there's not the natural thing of just being able to push the opposition off the ball. And that's a very good thing, one feels. There's a safety factor involved in that as much as anything else too. Ian Small-Smith. He's not the biggest of fellows, but he's a really quick little man. He's got very quick feet too. Scored a super first try. Again they drive it up. Devet Maria on this occasion. Broad caught in possession but gets the pass away. Now Franco Smith. And good strong running from Jan Hendrik Wessels. That's a lovely offload to Bierkes. And then another turnover. Yep, the game is struggling to really get going, isn't it? And outside of those first 2 tries, just perhaps a little bit scrappy.
Yeah, I'd question the tactics here from Hartpury College. They're 14 against 15 against a very good Grey College team. They've had the option to exit out of their 22 and even kick long, take the pressure off themselves, and I don't think they're playing their natural game by trying to score out of their 22 and rather go back to their game plan.
Yeah, one wonders too, you know, we're quite elevated in the commentary position, but to what extent the breeze is influencing the match down pitch side.
Yeah, the kickers will need to look at that and choose which side is the best for them to exit where possible anyway, to maximise the use of their breeze. At this stage it looks like it's still coming across into the commentary box.
So Stephen Varney with a put in. It's a very quick strike. And the kick downfield from Cole is safely into touch, but not a prodigious distance. So we're going to have a water break as the first 17 minutes fly past. And I suppose Hartpury too, when they saw the draw, they probably said, wow, do we have to play this game in the middle of the day? Well, it's not quite the middle of the day now. Obviously it's in warmer weather, so it's an adaptation for men who come from a colder climate.
Yeah, the 2 weeks leading into their venture out here to South Africa is -3 degrees where they come from, and we had a discussion with them. Their management team have managed them well with, as you can see, they'll have ice towels and cold water and putting the guys in the shade as much as possible. One thing we don't really know right now is, with a team that's come from such a cold environment into the heat, how much their last game took out of them and whether it's taken its toll on them, and we haven't had that opportunity to really assess that. But they certainly don't have the sting in their tail they had in their first game. But credit where credit's due. Grey College have been the performing team at this tournament, making it extremely hard for them to express themselves as they did in their first game.
Well, Grey College come from Bloemfontein in the middle of South Africa, in the province of Free State, as it's called. I was just chatting to some of the old boys this morning too, and they were saying that this Grey College team has no massive stars in it, but as a unit, 15 men that pull together, they think that they could go some places this season.
It's interesting you say that, because in my experience in Super Rugby, that's exactly how I would sum up Cheetahs Rugby as well. Is they seem to bring through some fantastic stars. They don't always have the big names, but they're always a hard team to play. They play 80 plus minutes, well conditioned, and often they have quite a bit of youth in their side, so it's an exciting brand of rugby that they play as well. Obviously their feeder team or school is Grey College as well.
Yeah, Grey College, really, they've had produced 40 Springboks since the Second World War. They really do churn out a lot of good players over the years. Seen many of them. Du Plessis brothers, Jannie and Bismarck, and Hilgard Miller, Heinrich Brousseau, Jan Serfontein, and a host of others. And that ball has just been dislodged now, and it's been taken by Hartpury. Very opportune for them as well. I think their difficulty, have a look at that there. I was just going to say, you know, they haven't had the power boot to really kick it downfield. In the previous match, we saw that from Charles Janssen from Paul Gymnasium, who kicked so well out of hand and also off the kicking tee, but prodigious distances.
A little bit, I think Hartpury could consider themselves a little bit unlucky not to have got a scrum there for a knock on, and not really getting an advantage from that as well.
So a throw in from Andre Hugo Venter. The catcher this time to Vetmeret at the back of the line out, loose forward. Now they get some momentum going on. That's going to be a penalty there for track and trailer.
Yeah, putting his player offside there, just an accidental offside, but still affecting the ability of the opposition to be able to get towards the ball carrier.
Well, let's just have a look at this kick from Dan Carlo, and he is into the breeze, so it's not going to be easy for him. What sort of distance can he get from it? Really take his team away from the trouble. Well, I think first and foremost, wow, that's a brilliant kick. That is absolutely perfect. And look at the distance they've traveled. It's probably close to 40 meters. They suddenly are in a position far better than what they were just now.
Yeah, very smart kick there. Kept the ball nice and low and projectile. Stayed under the wind as much as possible in front of the stand and trees, and got the distance that he wanted, almost pinpoint accuracy.
So can the line out of Hartpury be as effective as that of Grey College? The catcher is Alfie North. Held at the back by Leighton Chambers. Not making the same progression that Grey College have made from that. Oh, interception time. Now who can catch? The big chasers. This is great running from Werner Gous. He's going to make it. Chased all the way by the little number 9. Now, the number 9, Stephen Varney, immediately turned to the referee and said, well, I think I've dislodged that ball. Is it not knocked on? And the referee's having none of it.
That's got to get coaches excited with a big man at number 8 there. The 60-meter dash with backs in tow. Take it home straight underneath the posts.
Just a little tap over for Zander du Plessis, who gets his second conversion. And that's a wonderful run. That interception there from Werner Gous. And he showed a clean pair of heels. There's some great athletes here this week. I was just saying too, Wayne, to a couple of friends of mine too, that they must just have a look at some of the tight forwards and the pace that they've shown and the energy that they've got. That ball into the sun, but well fielded. Good work from de Vetmeret. He's got through a really good work rate in these early stages of this match. Carry up from Daniel Bierkes. And which Bierkes, I should say. And we haven't seen a lot of this man, Wycliffe Vitor, in the outside centre position. He's also very highly rated And that's a fantastic kick from him too. I thought it was going to go straight into touch.
Yeah, well-weighted kick there. And as you mentioned, we haven't seen much of FLETCHER. He was dangerous in his first game. Unbelievable footwork and outside break. He has drawn the defence in. They won't give him any space, which is creating space on the outside of him as well.
Hartpury College in their 22. See, basically what they've been trying to do is carry the ball up from there, but they're not carrying it as effectively as Grey College. They're finding themselves under pressure, but they've won the penalty, so Coles would want to replicate his last kick if he can, and get it up to the halfway line at least.
Yes, I would anticipate from the coaching staff of Hartpury that one of the main messages they need is when there's a ball carrier, the support players must get closer, latch on quickly, and don't create any opportunity for Grey College to get onto the ball. In today's game, the wingers and centres are often the first loose forward to the ball, so we want everybody to have that ability to try and turn the ball over.
So the third game then on the final day, it is here at Brook Street in Paarl for the Oakland World Schools Festival, involving 20 teams rather, from 10 of them from around the world, 10 from South Africa. And a wonderful opportunity for the youngsters to play against people from abroad.
Great counter-ruck.
So Hartpury College showing a little bit of pluck there. They have been cemented in their own half of the field for most of this game. Now the long pass out to Max FLETCHER. That's good work as well from De Wet-Marais, just looking to hold him up so that they can get the scrum. Well, he's taken it away. Good work from the loose forward. Broad. Little pop pass, but it was rather a hospital pass. But they've managed to hold on to it. Du Plessis into a half gap, and Vitor is running off his shoulder. He couldn't get the pass to him. Then on the left wing, it's LESLEY BOTHA. Lots of decisions that Stephen Varney's got to make. Well, stepped into touch on that occasion. Stephen Varney at scrum half for Hartpury College is under a huge amount of pressure, not only just from Grey College, but also from decision making in terms of just what do they do in the circumstances that they're in. They don't want to kick the ball if they're not going to be able to get it some distance. They don't really want to give the ball away because they haven't got enough of it possession wise. It's quite a testing time for them, one feels.
Yeah, I think they need to look at their tactics and perhaps try something different where they put the ball downfield and trust their defence when they come up. Grey College are trying to move the ball all the way to the edge of the defence, having that advantage of that extra man, just not quite pulling in the defence on the inside to create the opportunity outside all the time.
Well, here's an interesting move based on our recent comments. Now, Finn Bridgewater has replaced Stephen Varney at scrum half, and Bridgewater is a more sturdier fellow. Maybe they feel that they need a little bit more physical work from the scrum half.
And that scrum half will be picking up the slack for the 8-man that was previously doing the defence around the ruck. So.
Exactly that, yeah. Du Plessis, nice play from the fly half. And he stays on his feet. No better ball than front football for any team. Vitor. Well, it's not a good pass that from the centre three-quarter. It's gone forward. But here's a big defensive test now for the Hartpury scrum.
Just forcing the pass there, the opportunity to score or to test into the corner there, and just forcing the pass. Obviously the defence and the tackle dislodging the ball.
No, the mascot's got nothing to say. Huh? He just sits there and looks. He's the most calm person around.
Sunbathing. important scrum here now for Hartpury. They need composure, they need clean ball for their 9, and so they can work an exit strategy out of here.
And they've got Tommy Matthews, their fly half, standing back.
Ideal opportunity to make the most of the wind and try and get some distance down the left-hand side of the field here.
Well, the wind's got stronger, but they don't have Joe Howard, their number 8, to pick up and carry it upfield. You could really feel it up here now. The wind has got up quite dramatically.
Yeah, the benefit of the wind on this side of the field, and it's coming straight across, is having the confidence to punch it downfield, knowing the wind will carry it out for you as well. They've been struggling on the far side of the field to get the distance and make sure that their ball goes into touch.
So Hartpury managed to stand reasonably. Now the big kick downfield. Well, it's not big enough because Ian Small-Smith has got his hands on it. Giving the ball away is something you don't want to do. Now the little grubber kick through is a very, very neat one from George Cronje. Might well have been the right decision. You know, afterwards you always say to yourself, well, you're a big fellow, why didn't you maybe hold on to it? I thought that if he'd got it maybe a little bit further in front of him, it could well have worked.
Yeah, we don't always encourage the force to kick the ball, but in that instance, there were a couple of defenders in front of them, and I think if it had bounced differently, we may have been having a different conversation.
Exactly.
And he would have owed a few fines to the team for a kick and chase and score in the corner as a lock forward.
Saw a little bit of pressure coming from Grey College on the last scrum. They'll be looking for a little bit more if they can, with Bridgewater with a put in.
We don't have pack weights for the two teams, but Grey College certainly looking the more conditioned and stronger pack of the two.
Oh, there again, it's come out now to Broad. Can he get over? The little scrum half has got his second try and the 4th for Grey College. And really, that was eventually a relatively simple try without taking anything away from the scrum half.
We've mentioned the scrum halves on a number of occasions for both sides, and one of the defining differences between the two teams right now is the decision making at 9, where Broad's doing some fantastic work and choosing when he should have a go and challenge the defence, and when he should be creating an opportunity outside of him, and also picking his runners as his forwards as well when he can sense that the defence is starting to drift and he wants to pull them back in and make sure that they're staying on his inside men and giving his outside backs opportunity.
Well, that's a much better strike. Very well judged by ZANDER du Plessis. It's tricky kicking with the wind running across the field at you, and he just got it perfectly executed on that occasion.
Yeah, still 5 minutes short of half time, and a score of 26-0 to Grey College over Hartpury is not something we would have been anticipating, but the performance definitely warrants a score right now.
Du Plessis finds himself in a cul-de-sac there, so his job is to set it down and allow young Ross Broad to kick it downfield, and that's a pretty good touch finder by the scrum half. He's a nuggety, busy little player, isn't he?
Yeah, and I was impressed with the way that he spoke after the game on Tuesday or Wednesday as well, and very, very humble. They were going to do their homework. They were very respectful of coming into Hartpury, knowing they were going to have to play well, and it's like the attitude that they has as a captain, and obviously a tone through the team.
Grey College 76% of territory then, so they really have dominated this game up until now, including on the scoreboard. And of course, let's bear in mind as well that Joe Howard is off with a red card, the only one, luckily, thankfully, of the tournament. Still not 100% sure actually what happened. But they went back after some time, and the assistant referee provided the necessary information. Ian Small-Smith's kick is a very useful one, and he personally chased after it.
Great kick, and he got the benefit of the bounce as well. Being outside the 22, definitely didn't want the ball to go out on the full. but instead force Hartpury to put the ball out and now into an attacking opportunity for Grey College. Tactically very, very sound from Grey College and a knowledge of what they need to do and when.
Davet Marez being used quite a lot in the line-out from the number 7 position, but he's not the target on this occasion. So here come Grey College now. Can they get a maul going?
Well set and patient despite Hartpury's attempts to break them up there.
And then suddenly that ball just pops out. And the referee says, well, it's been knocked forward by Grey College, so Hartpury with a put in. Not too sure that Hartpury are enjoying having these scrums in their 22.
Yeah, most importantly on a drive, just want to take the time to sit, make sure everybody's nice and tight, the ball's where it needs to be. The referee will give opportunity or a first warning and then the opportunity to move that maul, and if not, sound platform for the 9.
So Bridgewater with the put in, and it's been effectively wheeled in. That referee says, unfortunately, it's wheeled through the 45 degrees. At school level, it's not allowed. It'll be a penalty. So Coles now.
Welcomed relief there for Hartpury and an opportunity for to get downfield again. Still falling short of using the breeze to its maximum as well, and putting the ball as far downfield as they can with very little time in the Grey College's opposition's territory.
So Harry Daines is off and Harry Fry is on. For Hartpury, you won't miss Harry Fry, that's for certain. He's got a Mohican haircut. Here he comes now, on the ball.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that.
No. You can't push me off the ball, unfortunately, so Nathan Schwartz right on the spot. He had a tough match the other night, Nathan Schwartz, with the players from both sides quite vociferous, and eventually he also had to get the spectators off the field, and it was quite a tough evening. I'm sure he's enjoying this match though. It's a good run around for him.
Great attacking opportunity here for Grey College. Their lineouts operating very efficiently with a number of options.
It's Davet Murray who's the target.
This time opting to take the ball to ground and quick ball for the backs.
Broad onto Ian Small-Smith. But the gap closed very quickly, and it needed to because he's a really good, strong, quick runner. So a little bit of over-elaboration maybe there from Grey College, and they've conceded the putting in the scrum. Having said that, with half-time looming in a few seconds' time, they'll look back on this first half and say, well, we've scored 4 tries and we've played some good constructive rugby.
Yeah, and I think tactically at times Grey College have also overcomplicated things for themselves as well. Rather than keeping it simple, they have an overlap. They just need to draw defenders and make the most of that opportunity as well.
Oh, it's a tight head for Grey College. Can they finish the half with a try? They say a try, they've already got 4. Can they make it 5 as Bjerkes goes in? Broad, Duplessis, Smith. Little pop pass on the inside there from Rian Brits, and they've got the try that they were searching for. That's brilliant work. The forwards did their work. They made sure there was a turnover at scrum time, and then pretty much everyone involved ultimately with that try being scored by Leslie BOTHA.
Great scrum leading into here on the outside. We can see the final pass off there. Poor tackle from Hartpury. Should really have made that tackle and given themselves an opportunity to recover, but a great try to Grey College. Set up off a great scrum from Grey College as well. Interesting with only 7 in the scrum and not an 8th man. Not the opportunity on a tight head for the 8th man to take the ball and normally run right away from the 9, but instead having to take an option runner at inside centre.
Duplessis with the ball almost flat on the kicking tee, just to keep it low and straight, but not straight enough. That will be half time then. Nathan SWARTZ just waiting for the go-ahead from our floor manager. And now with the wind marginally at their backs, Hartpury College, it'll be interesting to see just whether they can use that to good effect in the second half, but perhaps greater priority for them is to get their hands on the ball. Bridgewater, Matthews, real room to move in on that occasion. Bridgewater just tripped up there by, legally so, by Bierkus. Now Hartpury, one man on the outside and not too many to assist, but they've done very well. They've carried it in. Bridgewater has an opportunity now, and yep, I think this was a discussion point at halftime, I'm sure, is to kick for the corners. Knock on coming from Rion Brits.
Just a small look up there and wondering where the defense were, unfortunately, and the ball has popped forward and given the opportunity here for an attacking scrum for Hartpury. The work rate of the tight five from Grey College is really impressive in the way that they carry not only their scrummaging from the two props and their locks and hooker, but the amount of work they do off the ball. In today's game, we're expecting the tight five to do more than just scrum, and their skill level as well as their ability to carry has been impressive.
That's better ball that for Bridgewater. Matthews. Their pass going astray, so the rush defense there from Grey College has put lots of pressure on them, but they've managed to hold on to it. No, the referee says there was a knock on.
Very disjointed as the game's become now. It's not what we were anticipating here, and I can't help but feel that Hartpury have lost their way a little bit with perhaps the 8th man that was on there not only being one down, but having a bit more of an effect on the game than we anticipated.
Well, he definitely, Joe Howard, who's off for the red card, has been a key factor for them in many ways, defensively, but also his ball carrying ability, his ability to pick the ball up at the back of the scrum. We saw it the other day.
And a great line-out option as well.
Yeah, and a line-out option, yeah. Duplessis. Vitor has had no real opportunity in this match yet to show his ability. But a penalty now for Hartpury.
I think he was deeming that the clean-out happened around the neck area. I think that's what he was indicating, which is a safety factor as well, that you can't use the neck or the head at all for leverage.
So Dan Cole there with the kick as we see another replacement coming on. Josh Phipps on this occasion. And Cole with the kick downfield, and the man who's off is Tommy Matthews, so Josh Phipps will go into the fly half position. So that's a change at scrum half and a change at fly half for Hartpury. Looking to try and get their forward set, but Grey College have countered them pretty well. And coming away with it is Bertie Stretch. Slow delivery that for Bridgewater. And out from Coles, but intercepted by Franco Smith. Now the chase downfield. Has he got the legs to make it? Gets the offload. That's brilliant play. And it's Ian Small-Smith who gets his second try of the game.
Yeah, great support play there. Making sure that there's always an option for the ball carrier rather than assuming that he's going to make it to the corner. We see here, just anticipating that pass and coming through. Great hands to pick it up. Spot a good effort there to chase down from Hartpury and Hartpury College, and a tackle there. The man we've mentioned on many occasions coming through and scoring the try. A couple of key things I think we noticed from Grey Colleges. He's always a support player whenever there's a ball carrier, whether it's to clean out or to take a pass or to keep the ball alive, there's always options.
Duplessis, that's a pretty good strike from him, but not good enough.
Reserves coming on from Hartpury College, and we're looking for an injection of energy from them. Guys on there now looking flat and just want someone to spark them with a big tackle or a carry or
Preferably a try.
points. Would be good.
No points on the board at the moment for Hartpury. And Cole's kickoff. It's Dick Fissenden who's off the park, who's been replaced by Sonny Lacey. And immediately Grey College getting into the Hartpury half of the field, which is what they've spent most of the game in attacking positions. But it's turnover time. Turnover time now. Hartpury with a kick downfield, and Grey College, their back three well organised in defence to field those catches. This is BOTHA. Really good work at the breakdown point there by the loose forwards. Saw Ronaldo Gouveia just helped the clean out. That's always a tricky one, isn't it? The ball dwells loose, you're in an offside position, you pick it up, as it did with Bierkes on that occasion.
Yeah, not really a decision, it's just an instinct that the ball's there, and you don't have the opportunity to make that decision in a split second.
And you end up just playing it, don't you? And then you throw it out of your hands.
As if there was Bertie's stretch that made that tackle and forced the knock on.
Grey College looking to bring Peter Dippenaar onto the field. See no changes from them. They've gone ahead with the team that's basically started the game up until now. So a quick take now, and Hartpury trying to find a way through the front, but they've given away possession. Now Grey College, they can open up here. They've got numbers that they can use effectively. Smith trying to find his way through. Still they come. Look at the support. You spoke about the support just now, Wayne Taylor, and it definitely has been around that ball carrier.
Yeah, and great awareness as well. The Hartpury defence not setting itself quick enough around the ruck. A pick and go option through the middle, and then creating that opportunity as well, just to get him behind the defensive line.
So both Peter Dippenaar and TJ van Rensburg on as replacements for Grey College. Now there was talk a little bit earlier about Grey College really potentially being the form team, schoolboy team in South Africa this year, and it's a stage that they know pretty well. You know, there was an occasion, I think, where they were once unbeaten for 13 consecutive years. Such was their strength. In more recent times, they've had to settle with the second, third, or fourth place in South Africa. But they continue to churn out quality rugby players.
Yeah, it's a reflection on good systems when you can put young talent into a system and produce good teams and good individuals out of that as well. And they've got a good system running that's been working for them, and the players are well coached. You can see this team knows exactly what they should be doing.
Now there's a big team of former Grey boys that do all the coaching for them, and they do all do their bit. It's quite amazing that Nelio de Sá, who actually played international rugby for Portugal, he was a Grey boy, was telling me that since time immemorial, over 1,000 games that they've played, their winning ratio is around about 90%. So it's an exceptional school when it comes to rugby results. Of course, they've also provided more than just rugby players. They've provided some fantastic sportsmen in other sports too. Think of Jabez Strydom, who was a good rugby player too, but was a great cricketer. Vitor with the kick downfield. It's a lone body at the back there in terms of Josh Phipps. Eventually he's got to one man who's come back to support him. But I do agree with you as well, Wayne, that Hartpury just, they need a catalyst, they need an injection, they need something to happen. And it just doesn't seem to be forthcoming. Everything just a little bit sluggish for them at the moment, no real space to work with. But our credit goes to Grey College too, playing really, really brilliant rugby. Ian Small-Smith making sure that the ball stays with his school. Then it's Jan Hendrik Wessels who's dumped. Now that's a neat little grubber. Which way does it bounce? The big chase is coming now. And well, I think that might be a try.
Yeah, I agree. Came back off the Hartpury player and the opportunity taken there to dot it down.
Well, soft try, but could well be one. Yep, it is too. Try scorer was Ian Small-Smith, was it? That's a hat-trick for him then.
Geez, we've seen a few hat-tricks within the competition this week.
We have too.
But well-deserved as well. And it's not always about being lucky in the right place. It's about choosing the line and knowing where to be. Nice grubber kick through here. Great kick chase. Unfortunately stumbled with the ball and allowed the opportunity for the try scorer.
Not the first time that this has happened. But I just noticed now that Jaber Skuman's been brought onto the field, and who they're taking off? The man who's just scored a hat-trick. It happened the other day too. That's just to keep you humble.
You're not allowed to score 4.
No. And again, the kick from Du Plessis just slightly wide.
You touched on it before, Gavin, with regards to the back 3 and even the centres for Grey College when a ball is kicked. The man catching the ball has 2 or 3 options around him to bring it back. And we just saw another incident with Hartpury College where his only option was to kick because he didn't have options around him when he wanted to carry the ball back again. And working off the ball is such a critical aspect of today's game.
I suppose my question would be, are Hartpury perhaps feeling the heat a little bit here in South Africa? Is that what's affecting them? Or is it really that red card that their number 8, Joe Howard, got in the first half, very early in the first half too, that has upset their rhythm and it hasn't really allowed them the opportunities that they would have looked for, because this game was keenly looked forward to by many, many people. They said this could be one of the games of the tournament, but it hasn't turned out like that. Hartpury really have had to chase their tails, so to speak.
Yeah, they've been physically disappointing today as well. They haven't had the same sting that they had in their first game. All seemed flat, and not sure if it's a result of the red card or whether it's a result of the way Grey College are playing, but we're not seeing the same performance.
Well, yeah, they are trying to run from their own goal line. Good solid effort, one's got to say too, from Callum Barrett to carry the ball up.
Yeah, I question a side entry in there from 6, but
well, here come Grey College, and as you've always said, Wayne, too, they enough players around the ball carrier to make a real nuisance of themselves. Out from Broad, a great pass there from scrum half Du Plessis. And this time a little grubber from Rion Brits, and here we go. It's another try. Lovely little grubber kick through. The opportunities were there. They grabbed them, and it's yet another try.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the defense from Hartpury College in that instance, coming up and manning up, but just the awareness to put the ball through and behind, and such a greatly weighted kick. Kick properly, it's not just the luck of the ball and getting it to bounce up when you want it to, and some real skill and class now starting to be shown.
Well, Ian Small-Smith is probably looking at that and saying, well, that was my replacement. I reckon I've got as much pace as him. I could have caught that and scored my 4th try. It's time for him to get one over, isn't it? Du Plessis. This time, no problem. And that score really is mounting now in favour of the men from Bloemfontein.
Yeah, if any of us had been asked to pick a score going into this game, I'm pretty sure none of us would have been picking 48-0 at this stage of the game, with another 20 minutes still to play.
So Dippen are on now for Werner Goos at number 8. I just wonder as well, you know, that pretty much the benches will get exhausted for different reasons. Great College to give everybody a run if needed, and for Hartpury really to relieve some of the men who've had to do the extra work with Joe Howard being off with a red card. There's Callum Barrett. He's gone and lost that forward, sadly, so be a grey scrum put in.
Now we need a hearty performance now from Hartpury to bring this home and keep some pride in the jersey as well. Their heads are down. Somebody needs to intervene and show some leadership. You know, the Christchurch boys team and coaching staff were really disappointed in their performance against Grey College, but I also reassured them that Grey College is a fantastic school in the way that they're playing rugby at the moment. You should know that their performance are up against one of the best, if not the best, in the tournament.
So a water break we've got at the moment, called by the referee Nathan Schwartz.
Here's the opportunity for Hartpury coaches to get amongst their players and get their heads up and get a positive reaction to finish the game and their tour in a positive light.
I think so. I think that's really is what needed. They're not going to win the game, but can they finish it in a positive way, score some tries and finish with a little bit of a flourish. I think it's almost a little bit of a shock for them too, because they probably thought to themselves going into this game that, you know, they could give Grey a really good run for their money. They were outstanding against Uffies. Hartpury, they played really good rugby. They won 26-15. But I guess, and I keep saying it, but I think that, you know, a red card just really does spoil the match. And the call is not to say that the assistant referee or the referee is wrong. They've made their call on the basis of evidence that they had in front of them. But still, it does just spoil a game, especially when you're up against a top side like Grey College.
I agree, and I think it's something that is always open for discussion as well. In professional rugby, a red card is 14 on 15 and totally warranted. And in schoolboy rugby and non-professional rugby, I still question whether the team or the player should be punished. And a red card for the player to go off and that player be replaced so that it's still 15 on 15. And we could debate that point for a long time, but we're seeing the result of a 14 on 15 at a learning experience here for schoolboys, and I'm not sure that we've still got it right.
So TJ from Rensburg taken over the scrum half duties from Ross Broad. Some fresh legs at scrum half. Lots of work here for Grey College to do, but once again, that little pop pass that just keeps the continuity going for Grey College has been a real threat against Hartpury. There's that long bullet-like pass from the base of the scrum from TJ van Rensburg. Well, a little bit of work here to do for Dion LaRue. Gets it away to Vessels.
Been impressed with Vessels, not only in his first game, but again today. His work rate and the way that he carries and his intent in contact has been really impressive.
Yes, we don't want to single out individual players in the Grey College side because it has been a team effort, but I agree with you. And Davet Marie as well at number 7 for Grey College has also had a really good productive day.
Yeah, and credit where credit's due. One of the things I've found extremely impressive from this Grey College team is how aggressive they are with really positive intent into contact. They want to dominate the collision.
There's a chance of a try then. It was Vitua who did so well with the carry. Now have a look at this from Vessels. The big chase by the big man.
Yeah, no longer. We haven't put the commentator's curse on him. We just gave him the commentator's kiss. Yeah, in today's game, 15 men right across the field. We want them to have the skills and the ability to carry and to create something outside of set piece. I think that's why I've been so impressed with Vessels and the whole front row from Grey College and their contribution away from set pieces. Be interested to see some stats on Vessels. He's a big man with some great agility in his step there. It wasn't a foregone conclusion, and in the past you may have seen a different approach with a front row forward on a back running over top of him. Some great skill.
Well, I mentioned it a bit earlier that it has been impressive this tournament. The tight forwards, some of the pace that they've shown on the field of play from some of the big fellas is quite special.
Yeah, and often at schoolboy rugby you may have a front rower who has that agility and speed, but he's not really at a size he's going to be able to go forward in his career. But when you see a big front rower at schoolboy level that has those skills and the physical ability to go further, it's exciting.
So du Plessis there with getting his back line going once more, and just little pop passes here and there. Lovely pass there once again from TJ van Rensburg. Du Plessis into a little bit of space. He's got support there. He's not slow either, and nor is this fellow Wessels. He scored a try just now. Still they come. Hartpury under all sorts of pressure there at the breakdown. They've cleaned up reasonably well to hold on to the ball. Now Hartpury inside their 22. Not considering kicking at this point in time. They want to just keep the ball in hand.
To admire Hartpury here, they still determined to play rugby and not just kick the ball away and defend.
Well, they got a penalty here, so they've got an opportunity to do just that if they want to kick it downfield. Find a gap somewhere. Just heard an interesting situation that the coach of one of the coaches of the great college team, who's a former Springbok, Helgard Miller, has actually made a suggestion that Hartpury at this point in time should be allowed to bring on an extra man. They'd be comfortable with it, so we've got a 15 against 15 again. But Hartpury have refused that because they feel that the team needs to learn their lesson, and I think that's admirable as well, especially for young boys, that you do have to learn lessons, and sometimes they're painful ones.
Yeah, and I think it's also a reflection. They're a proud team as well, and they don't think they should be given any favours that weren't in the rules at the start of the tournament, and they've done the crime, they do the time, and scores are not close, so they're well aware that it's not going to make a major difference to the scoreline if they have 15 back on.
No, not at this stage of the game, of course, as we head into the last 14 minutes or so of this match. And that ball went backwards, so we'll play on. Callum Barrett has tried with a few balls that he's had on the right wing for Hartpury College to find his way through, but the grey defence has held very well. So well that Hartpury don't have a single point on the board yet. That's a knock on that from Isaac Marsh.
Yeah, disappointing. There's some positive play from Hartpury. They're getting the ball through the hands and keen to bring it out with some fresh legs they have on the field, but very hard with the pressure they're under, knowing that they have to score from everywhere to try and come back and put some points on the board. It's not taking anything away from Grey College. They've been impressive today. They've been very clinical. They've done everything accurately that they can. They put a lot of pressure on Hartpury, which has stopped them from doing what they want to do.
And
they've stayed to their game plan despite being ahead on a big scoreline. They're still playing good, accurate rugby and haven't become loose.
And who can argue with 9 tries?
Yeah, they're showing quite a bit of composure for a young team.
Some wonderful tries. 3 of them belonging to Ian Small-Smith, who's been substituted with Grey College this time, penalised at the breakdown.
Yeah, good work at the breakdown there with Hartpury College getting over top of the ball, and the referee's been consistent all the way through the game. If there's daylight, the opposition have an opportunity.
So big Jan-Hendrik Wessels is busy stripping his boots.
He's not happy.
So time on then, and off we go then. Dan Cole. He's a man that probably doesn't play a lot of rugby in the wind.
Yeah, I think there was a bit more room for a few extra metres there with the wind that he would have had to put it out, but I think he's just happy to get it out right now, and let's see what they can do. Almost a new forward pack on here for Hartpury with the replacements that they have, and let's see if they can't get a little bit more accuracy than they've had in the first half of the game.
Ons het hier 'n Volkswagen sleutelman, is 'n naam wat my sê sy daar ook verloor het, Hatsu. Sleutel, swart.
That's better play from the line out for them. Over the top from Cole.
Oh, great move. Well covered by Grey College.
Van Rensburg. The tour with the little grubber kick, and a lot of work to do there for Hartpury, but the touchline eventually is the winner.
There's been a lot of line speed from Grey College today, coming up and putting pressure on the Hartpury backline, and they've had a look in behind and turned them around. Although it was well covered, good to them. Good to see they're having a look and coming up with some other solutions. What they've been doing hasn't been working.
That's a good catch there from Joe Fitzsimmons in the line out. Hartpury just wanting to hold on to that ball, carry it where they can. Now this time Coles with the little chip kick across field. Two players both looked up at each other and said, okay, well, who's going to grab this one? Eventually the touchline said, well, I'll have it.
Yeah, despite the scoreline and some great tries being scored, I can't help but think that the intensity of our last game was more of a physical matchup and what we were anticipating it would be, and understandably we'd be a bit disappointed what we've seen here in this game as well, with this being possibly one of the biggest matchups we were anticipating.
This is lovely running off the ball, brilliant play. Look at the support there, and well, that wasn't the best of passes from Dion LaRue. Back to MJ Woodendal. So the game petering out a little bit with just 9 minutes to go. It's going to be a solid victory for Grey College.
Still have some great matchups coming up after this, and some games that have been well anticipated as well, and the physicality of all these teams has been impressive. Sometimes forget watching these games that we're looking at boys between 16 and 18 years of age, and many of them may be in Super Rugby or in professional rugby within the next couple of years.
Now there's often a sensitivity to individuals who've been involved in the past, and they might be watching. Ross Moriarty and Alex Cuthbert, the British and Irish Lions, were scholars at this school. Obviously there's a level of pride too that you carry for yourself. You don't want to lose a match by over 50 points. That's going to be the case here.
Got more distance on the far side of the field into a headwind than we've been getting on this side of the field,
but thinking the same
let's
thing.
acknowledge that, and well done. Not sure who's leading that pack out there now, but there's a little bit more chat going on and pre-organising before they arrive in the line-out.
So Chambers with the throw-in. Catch coming from Joe Fitzsimmons. Well, it's a turnover and another chance here for Grey College to spread it through the hands, and that they do pretty effectively. Someone will want to straighten up where they can, and eventually it's Rion Brits who's caught in possession. The ball did go backwards, so they'll continue play. Van Rensburg.
Borderline forward pass there, resulting in a knock-on.
There was an offload there from Renato Gouveia, who was just patting his hand on the ground and saying to himself, well, maybe I shouldn't have tried to pass that. He just set it up for the next phase.
Yeah, it was a great tackle out here on the wing here by Callum Barrett as well. Shut down that Grey College backline coming through. Felt like the backline needed to come forward and commit the defenders rather than shoveling the ball, and it allowed the Hartpury backline just to turn out and force them across to the sideline.
Well, I must say that we've seen Callum Barrett with lots of strong running too, and it's going to be a penalty for a high tackle. Was another red card? Wow.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's Dion LaRue, who's got a very surprised look on his face, and I must say that I think many other people will have too. He's penalised for a high tackle. Well, you spoke about the finishing, Wayne, and the importance of the attempts of Hartpury to maybe just get a try or two to finish off their game. But those things don't seem to be happening for them right now. Du Plessis. Van Rensburg. That's neat play that by the scrum half, setting the ball up. Now again they've got numbers. They decide to go wide. This is Gouveia. Back inside it goes. He's got plenty of support, including Skulk for Mark. That's beautifully and efficiently worked all the way across to the far side. And not too much Josh Phipps could do with it. Well, he's done pretty well with a step there. He's very quick as Josh Phipps. Came on as a replacement, fly half.
Yeah, great way to kick through there, but the ability to step and come back down that channel where there was no defence coming in behind. And the big man we've mentioned many times over now, Vessels, coming across and making the cover tackle on the back.
That's a very good step that from Josh Phipps. So it'll be Skulk for Mark with a throw in for Grey College as the replacement hooker. And the wind really has started to pick up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's an impressive scoreline from Grey College here. Often when things aren't going well and the opposition aren't playing exactly how you would expect, sometimes it can fall apart or crumble or game plans don't happen. But they've been quite clinical all the way through. They've dictated the pace of the game, the intensity of the game, and exactly what they've wanted to do. And been equally as impressive even if the matchup hasn't been quite what we expected.
So 9 out of 10 lineouts then won today by Grey College on their throw-in. It's worked pretty efficiently. We've seen some good mauling from them too, carrying the ball upfield. There they go again. Well, that was deliberately collapsed, so a penalty advantage now for Grey. Van Rensburg and Du Plessis in tandem. Du Plessis, lovely little run from the fly half, looking to go in his own. Little inside and outside. This is a great finish by the fly half.
Fantastic try to Du Plessis there. Looking for him coming through and taking the ball and creating doubt in the defense's minds as well with the ball in two hands. And what you're looking for from your 10 is always to have that acceleration to challenge defense, but also a step, a swerve, and then that top end speed to be able to make sure we go around those faster players in the team.
Yeah, he literally glided around the last line of defense. And now he looked to convert his own try. 31 points they scored in the first half. They've just about replicated that in the second.
Yeah, it was an impressive try by him with the ball in two hands and defense really not knowing what he was going to do with it. And also throughout the game he's used his boot quite nicely in the grubber kick. So not really sure what he's going to do. when he has the ball in hand.
So the conversion a little bit wayward, but have a look at this try.
60.
Carrying the ball here, ball in hand, he dummies and goes through the hole. And then on the outside there, swerving onto the outside and the speed not coming through, and into the corner for a great try. He's had a good game. He's driven their team around the park and created doubt at all times with Hartpury not really sure what's going to happen next.
Yeah, game management at fly half can be quite difficult sometimes, strangely enough, when you're getting so much ball. But you look to vary your play, which he's done pretty well. He's kicked when he's needed to. He's been a good distributor. Worked on his own too on occasions. Oh, here come Greg Gavea, lovely little, rather, it wasn't Gavea, it's Woodendal with the catch. Staying on his feet, MJ Woodendal. Stolen. Yep, taken away by Hartpury. Now here's their chance. An 80-meter try. Could it happen? No, one man on his own is not going to help matters. Bridgewater goes flying in. Once again, great keeping their structures defensively. And they've worked really hard at the breakdown points too.
Yeah, great tackle there as well. Not taking the dummy and making sure he's staying on his man.
Alan Barrett setting up that next phase. You know, we talk about pride of schools too, Wayne. I can tell you what, Grey is a proud school, and they are proudly defending a 0 against them at the moment. They don't want a try scored, even if it is in the last minute, and it doesn't really matter as far as the result is concerned. 60-0 sounds better than 60 points to 7.
Just becoming a little bit messy now, and a bit of badminton both ways with the ball, and finally coming up with a knock on by Hartpury.
That's going to be full time then. Yeah, at Brook Street in Paarl. As we've moved into the afternoon of matches here at the Oakland World Schools Festival, and sadly a game of great expectation ends with a one-sided victory by Grey College over Hartpury College. Grey scoring those 10 tries in this game. They were full value for their money. Let's take nothing away from them. But sadly, 2 red cards in the game, and one that really mattered, which was pretty early in the game. Final score then, yeah, at Brook Street. Grey College 60, Hartpury College 0.
If you appreciated this video, please don't forget to smash that like button. And if you have not yet, get with the program and click that subscribe button as well as bell notification. While you're here, if you're interested in more quality content, why not head over to our website, www.nextgen15.com. That's www.nextgenxv.com. Cheers.